on my end. We'll see. Oh, good. I see Jessica in there, so she can tell me if I'm live or not. She's always like, stop talking. On my.
Okay. Yeah, I see us now.
Yay. Okay, good. Hello, everyone. Becca and I are ready to prep.
Ish.
Kind of. I guess this is just right off the bat. Becca, where are you at in your prepping?
Well, I've had a couple setbacks. Not bad setbacks, just setbacks. It's because the book I'm co-writing with my friend.
Yes.
She on October 1st was like, okay, I'm done with my pass. And I'm like, oh, and so I'm like excited because it's our third and last book. But we did decide that I needed to add 2 chapters.
Yeah.
Because she had 2 like chapters that were like double what we normally do. And so we felt like something was missing. And so we were realizing, okay, I need to add a couple chapters. But our chapters are 4,000 to 5,000 words. So
that's like a fair amount of work that you're.
A lot of work. Yeah. So I'm kind of trying to balance both.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard. I feel like I'm not making much progress in either. And I'm like, winter is coming.
That is so difficult. I guess, plus side, y'all recognize that, like, more stuff needed to be done on it. And, like, you're doing that now. But yeah, it totally is creeping into Preptober work. That is hard, too, when you have all these simultaneous projects that you're like.
I know.
Because Preptober has, like, a time limit on it, too. Like, are we in the second part of the month now? Like, we're halfway through. It is right in the middle. So.
I know.
Oh.
But I'm getting there. And I did actually, when I had the live on Emily's channel, I chose to just work on outlining. And so that helped because I did manage to pretty much finish the outlining for one of the girls. So
yeah.
That helped. But yeah, so I saw on Instagram though that you finished reading through.
I did. I finished my reread. I'm so happy. The problem, or the great thing, it's whatever. There's multiple places. Like, I took notes so many different places. So I have it in my Scrivener file, in a notebook, and on my phone. So I want to compile all the notes, I think, as part of what I'm going to do here and work on the timeline, because I have several places that need to be changed and that I need to think over, but also a large part that I really liked. I'd say the first, like, 30,000 word of the story was on track. It was a little accelerated, so I'm going to have to add a lot of stuff in.
Okay.
But, and then the last 10,000 words of that 40,000, I went off and I was like, what? That's not that bad.
That's actually really good because it's like, if you got through a big chunk of the story and now it's just adding, sort of details or whatever scenes, that's a good place to be, as opposed to like getting through that and realizing you're still only a third of the way through your story.
Yes, exactly. So,
okay, so yay. That's awesome. And then you were doing your timeline. Yeah.
Doing the timeline. So I'm calling it a timeline. I think it's still going to be timeline, but like, it's more how I can visually conceptualize the story. So I was telling Becca that I'm just going to be dragging and dropping stuff and kind of going crazy with that. So we're going to see, but yeah, that's what I'm working on tonight. So y'all let us know what you're working on. I see someone got married, although I skipped past who it was. I just saw people congratulating. So I will also congratulate whoever the person is. Yay! I'm still trying to see. See, this is the one. Congratulations to the one getting married. Well, congratulations to your mom.
Yay!
That's awesome. Congrats, Haley. Yeah, I missed. Okay. Congratulations, Haley. I'm so sorry. Wait. Preptober has a totally different meaning for me this year. I'm not doing Nano, but I'm getting married at the end of the month.
Oh my God. I'm being super obnoxious about.
Oh my gosh, no.
That's awesome.
You know what? I have champagne and strawberries, so I will
Oh, perfect. Well, I have water. Okay. Cheers.
Another sip, yes. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay, Jerica says, almost finished with my first draft, so I'm going to work on finishing up that later today. That's
nice.
awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it's so nice when you're almost finished, too. It's like, yes.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. For real, though. Let's see. Oh, James is working on a magic system for his book, but it's 15 days in, and I haven't really done anything. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that the progression is going haywire.
That's, yeah, that can like freeze you up. I have that too, and it's just like, it gets so overwhelming that the last thing you can think about is working.
Yeah.
But magic system's really cool. I mean, you know, that for me, that was part of the fun in planning the book that I'm working on as well, is coming up with the magic system. So,
oh, part of the prep I'm still needing to do, because I didn't figure it out during the zero draft, is I have this house that like they can trick people into death, but they can't do the same thing that my main character does, which is like straight slash if she wants. Okay. So I have to figure out how they figured this part out, how they can trick the god of death into like sacrificing people, but can't actually do it. Anyway, so I need to figure out some rules. Yeah. I haven't done the rules yet, so that's going to be part of my prep still.
That's good. I mean, have you found, like, because are you outlining, or are you just doing other types of prep work for Preptober?
I would like to outline. That's okay. Part of the timeline is going to eventually become an outline.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I think I called this like step 4, I think, was creating a timeline, but I think over the course of it, all throughout is going to be creating the timeline.
Okay.
And adding to the outline. And yeah, oh man.
I know. It's like one girl's outline, because you know I have to sort of outline them separately. Mm-hmm. And one of the girls' outline led me to a major change, because the two of them are like, I could really plot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where, because, you know, I do 2 passes. I do the plot outline, and then I do the character arc outline. But the second girl, she's on the run. So that's like her plot. There's not much you can do about that, except she's going from this place to this place. And then plot wise, she discovers this, she discovers that. Mm-hmm. Blank. So that's pretty simple. Yeah. So her outline is mainly character arc outline. She's the only one that has a love interest. And like, so I found that I had to like really dive deep into the characters, because I'm like, okay, if they're going to be a love interest, you know, then I got to do that. And then I started getting into her backstory, and I realized that her dad was like this grifter. And then how did that affect her? Because she got stuck kind of doing, you know, stuff for him to get into places and whatever. So that helps her, but she managed to separate from her father, you know, like run away from him.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, like the rule of remember the volcano mines?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
The only way you become a slave in the volcano mines is if you commit a crime. So he is in there with the other girl. And so when he sees her, he knows what she is, because he knows his daughter is the same.
Yeah.
And so he immediately connects. And so all of a sudden I'm like, crap. So now I have to go and re-outline the girl in the volcano lines, because I created this pivotal character who's the other girl's father that wasn't going to be part of this story.
Right.
So it's funny, because that's what I was talking about. Like with outlining, that's where it's like, normally I think some people discover this like you would in the zero draft or that kind of thing. I totally swallowed wrong. So anyway, I'm trying to do it in the outline, but you know, stuff gets missed sometimes. So
Becca, I'm just saying, the more I hear about this, the more excited I can't wait, because okay, I have like 3 different thoughts. You're still planning on doing daily vlogs, right?
Yes.
I'm very pumped to follow this journey. Also, how great is it that like I love when there's so many interconnecting portions of a story. And I feel like that's what makes my favorite stories my favorites, because there's like
and they weren't connected really. And so that's sort of why I was like, kind of had that like epiphany moment of like, oh, because then when they meet up, it's like, oh, because she just assumed her dad is like out grifting and like she got away from him and whatever. Yeah. And then it's like when you find out, you know, there may be some tragedy, but you know. But yeah, I like it too when they connect like that, because then it's like when the reader realizes who he is, they're like,
all the layers. It is such an interesting experience, the books I've read where you, the reader, know more than certain characters.
Yeah.
That's always so. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Let's see. Do we want to go ahead and get started with our first sprint?
Yes.
I feel like how long do we want to do it for? Let me see if I can pull up a timer.
Okay.
Let's see. We will take suggestions from the comments. How long do y'all want to sprint for?
Yes.
We are down for
short.
Yeah, I like to do short ones to start.
Like 10 short or like 5 short?
You know, here's the thing. Because a lot of us are prepping rather than writing, I think we might be aiming toward potentially longer sprints this time.
Okay.
But I say that I feel like Becca always sprints for way longer than I do, so it'll be a good mix.
It looks like the majority is 10 to 15.
Yeah, I am seeing that. I think we can do. How does a solid like 11 sound?
That sounds good.
We're gonna do.
I feel like that's good. Like I feel like I just can't decide if I'm gonna work. Well, you know what? This is a prepping.
It's a prep stream, Becca.
Oh, I'm gonna work on the prepping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me share my screen so y'all can see how long I have set our time for.
Ooh, 11:11. I love it.
11:11. All right. And then if I can figure out, even though I do love James and all of his comments, I don't know how to take this off. James has just been up there the whole time.
Aww.
I do love James though, so that's great. I just need to figure it out. I'm now yeah, close it up. Okay. All right, you guys, we are going to start. Okay, that is the timer. Hooray!
This one thing.
Yeah, go for it. I will ask everyone else how you guys did. I already see Maddie Wright's got 773 words in the outline. Makes it easy when I've been vlogging for October and just don't have anything on paper yet. Yeah, you're just in the zone. You're ready to get it all out. Oh, wow. All right, Becca, how'd you do?
Good. I realized I needed to set up the class system and like what determines who's rich and who's poor and things like that. And then it got me onto money, and I realized I need to have a money system.
Yeah. This is the thing about fantasies and everything. It's always so interesting figuring out all of that. Like, I hate in my pirate series, I have to have a whole, like, I have classifications on how the money works because I want there to be division so that some of them don't even use the same currency. And I'm just like, this is a headache.
Yeah, I'm not going that far just because it's like this world, everything revolves around the Ignistone. So it's like but then it is, the Ignistone is turned into a form of money. So then I had to break down
what's worth what.
Yeah, I kind of went the route of Latin. I know that weirdly, if you're thinking about it logically, doesn't make sense because they don't have a Latin.
Right.
But for some reason, I feel like a lot of fantasy authors do that just because we know that number system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand that. This fantasy for me is a little bit easier in that I'm also going to have to at some point come up with a currency, but it only surrounds one like empire, and everything else is just whatever. And it's like, it's a much smaller scale. What I realized as I finished typing up the notes that were on my phone,
yeah,
that I have to figure out, I wrote different things revolving around this god of death and what the belief system would be. So I get into a funky thing where I want some people to believe more strongly or slightly differently. But the problem is that I got to figure out why each section of people might believe something, and so it's just like, oh boy.
No, I think that's the most interesting part of world building. Yeah, it's like, because then you read something like Brandon Sanderson, who's sort of known for his world building. And he goes down, I mean, like in Way of Kings, I mean, he even has it down to the grass on the ground that moves because these storms are so strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, that it's adapted to the storms, like grass. You know, I mean, that's like detail.
That is.
Where you're like, geez, he's even thinking of the grass. And it's fascinating, and I love it, you know, when I'm reading it, because I'm just like, oh, that's cool. That makes sense, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to survive because there's no soil. It's all like this cracked world, you know? So yeah, I don't think, because mine's sort of a YA fantasy, I don't think I'm going to be getting into detail about the blades of grass, but
got it.
But you do kind of have to think about all the other stuff.
You do, and I think who was I talking to? I think I was talking to Brooke about something, and I was saying how the problem really is that even if you never put it into the story, the writer has to know so much more.
Yeah.
So it's because you need to, if it comes up, you need to be able to explain it. How much of it will ever come up, or you need to put in your book or whatever, but you need to know the reasoning. And so that's when it just gets so intense, where you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, even coming up with cities and towns and like countries that are not, like, I know are not going to come up in this book.
Yeah.
They may in the second book or the third book, and it's like, so you still have to create like what those people are like, why they exist, and like, yeah. Oh, hi, Natalia.
Yeah, hi, Natalia. I put that question up for you, Becca.
Do we have a series story Bible? I mean, kind of. I'm not in a literal sense, I guess. You know, like some people actually have separate Bibles and stuff like that. But I guess I kind of do in a way, like in my Scrivener file. Like I have a section for each, you know, thing. Like I have a world politics section, I have a, you know, currency section, and I have a religion section. I have, you know, so I have all these sections in terms of world building that I can easily access. So it kind of works the same, I guess, as a Bible. But I do know that some people put a lot of effort into making like an actual physical series Bible. So
the thing I thought was interesting is that when I was trying to do my most recent foray into screenwriting, sorry, I was recording, the rain's coming down so heavy now, so if y'all can hear it, but I was just like, oh my God. When I was doing that, I recognized about like how it's recommended to have, I think they were even saying like a 5-page series Bible for whatever show you're wanting to do or something. And I was like, this is fascinating because
for TV, you mean?
For TV, yeah.
Yeah, that's a different thing though. Yeah, and so for me, yeah, I mean, for TV shows and stuff, I always do a series Bible. But you're right, they're only like 5 to 10 pages long.
Yeah, it's just so interesting to me.
Just so you can know where each season, like, and it's kind of just a map out of like, I want season 1's arc to be here, I want season 2's arc to be here, and then usually people only plan up to about 5 seasons.
Oh.
Just because you hope you get 5 seasons.
Right.
But
that's interesting. See, nowhere in my research did it tell me that that's what the usual.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like my experience.
No, that's what I
know, but
yeah, no, that's what I trust your experience. I just think it's so interesting because I don't often, I mean, there are people like Natalia I know and other people who've like even made videos about their series or story Bible, but it doesn't seem to me to be like a like super popular way of doing writing a novel sometimes, but like to see it was like, no, you have one. So I was like, oh, okay.
I guess it also depends on your definition of what that is, you know? Because I have realized that a lot, like because Emily and I were talking about like you know, like for me when we were talking about plotting versus outlining, I think they're the same.
Yeah.
But she brought up good points where she thinks that they're slightly different, and I was like, oh, I can see that, you know. But I personally am just like, I'm like, for me, it's the same. It's like plotting and outlining is.
I would think it's the same thing too. That's why when you asked me if I was doing my timeline or my outline even, I was like,
well, timeline is that's your putting. I mean, just because you have E on timeline. So
yeah.
It's like an actual this date kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
I only consider those differently because like it's more like a history rather than an outline of the book.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit different, but the process is going to go at this like in tandem kind of thing. That's so interesting though.
Yeah. The thing about world building is that it's so much fun, but I tend to sometimes forget. Like, I was writing this book last Nano, or tried to start it anyway.
Yeah.
And I didn't have currency. I didn't have religion. I didn't have, and so it's funny that it took me a year to go, oh, crap, like, I can't believe I didn't plan that out. Like, I thought I had it planned.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm going in with a little better world building.
Well, and I think I might end up creating one for the Meridian Map series, because as I'm getting farther along, so I'm, zero drafting the third book.
Yeah.
I'm realizing it would be very helpful to have reference points, because even though I remember mostly, I don't remember everything. And like, I want to eventually create a map for it, which might, so it's just all this stuff where I'm like, I could have it in one place and then reference and then ta-da.
Yeah. Have you started your map?
I haven't. You know what I think I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to make the map for Project Death first, because it's going to be way easier than the Meridian Map series. Because there's really only like 3 main locations for a broad map. There'll be like, if I can like dive into something like behind the wall. Anyway, so yeah.
Okay. No, good. I was excited. Yeah, I keep meaning to do a video on
please do your map
program that I found.
Beautiful. It's so good. I love it. It's not
I mean, there are definitely two leaders in terms of programs to use. One is was it Incarnate?
Incarnate.
Because they have a free version. So if you want to kind of WonderDraft. Thank you. Yeah, and WonderDraft, but Incarnate's good for freebies, but if you don't plan on publishing it. But if you want to, you can pay $25 and then you can publish it using Incarnate. But yeah, WonderDraft I use because it's what we were talking about. It actually has an undo button, which I need. And it also, it also has.
Yeah, I think that's.
Draw the edges, and the brush itself does the cool, like, sort of a natural, like, looking like land type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Incarnate is smooth, and then you have to use the erase tool
to make it
yourself. So there's little things like that, little details, but they're both great.
Yeah. I do think I'll probably spend the money on the WonderDraft, if only because no undo is going to be, and much like Aeon Timeline, when I realized that like I routinely have a problem with timelines, I think there's already 2 stories now that I need some map making something in order to realize it, that I'm like, it'll be worth it in the end. But that's something, to consider, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, shall we do another sprint?
Yes.
And how much time do y'all want to do it for? I'm thinking, more than 11 minutes. I don't know how you found. Did you find the 11 minutes too short, Becca?
Well, I did, because I had to finish up. But yeah, like a 15 maybe. What do you guys think?
I think that sounds. Oh, all my stuff just. Okay, I'm seeing anywhere between 15 and 20. It looks like.
Okay.
Oh, a little bit more 15s maybe. Okay, we'll incrementally do it, because I know what I want to set the timer at. But I asked for suggestions, and then I'm like, I will decide. Let's see.
I will take it under advisement, but
yes,
final
exactly.
say.
Okay.
Oh, I like it.
I know. Let's see. I'll make this big for y'all. And then I need to do one other thing because, again, I'm so silly with figuring out where. Here, we'll do the second spread of the write-in. Okay. Are you ready, Becca?
Yes.
Okay. And start. All right.
Oh,
how did you do?
Pretty good. I'm working on the third girl's outline.
Yeah.
She's the one that's more character driven than plot driven.
Yeah.
Love driven.
I'm excited. I always love I appreciate a good love story.
Well, I figured like it needed it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I've read, and I like plenty of stories that don't have that element, but there's something to be said when you have three main characters that one of them might have.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just really no way for it with the other girls. I mean, I could force something, I guess. I mean, if they, you know, sometimes that happens if they happen to meet somebody.
Who knows as you're writing it if it just...
I know. It's like I have it outlined, but every once in a while, like I said with Riser, it was all like suddenly Ryan Bond was raising his hand, and it's like go back and outline, change everything.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow, we got some 261, some 324, struggling with the scene. I feel you. 225, 130, halfway through the sprint. I am trying to figure out. Okay, so since I wrote 40,000 words of it, and it's like the first 30,000 at least are on track, and actually when I add in the words that need to be added at the beginning, I'll probably have at least half of the story. I have solidly figured out. So now what I do is that I try and work backwards almost. So I'm figuring out exactly what I want at the end for all of the main characters.
Okay.
And so I'm going to have to work sort of this way to get what I want to fill in this section, I think.
Okay.
Because I know a couple plot points in between. Anyway, so I've just solidified during that sprint what I wanted for most of the characters.
Nice.
So that's kind of fun. And it's a little bit different than like when I originally first had the idea. I think I've always kind of been working toward this ending somewhere in this middle part here, but if I would have tried to tell you what the ending was when I first came up with the idea, it would be so different. So that's kind of fun.
Right. I know, that's crazy. It's like, so you usually know what your beginning and ending is. It's just the middle part that you usually.
Yeah, usually I know. It's like the beginning I know pretty solidly because I guess it's like the premise idea. I have the character, I have what they want, and I have the problem.
Right.
It's the weird middle ground until we get to the solution that is a struggle for me.
Okay.
Is that for you? Or because you outlined it all?
I outlined it all. So initially, I guess, before I'm going into outlining, it's the same. It's just I usually figure out the middle when I'm outlining. But stuff does happen that, can veer you off when you're writing, but then I go back and I re-outline.
Yeah.
So I never just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I was 10,000 words deep before I really, basically.
Yeah. Because that was my problem, is that when I tried, I ended up having to delete 10,000 words.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I have to re-outline when I figure those things out. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the thing, is like I did my outlining video, and it's just so, to me, I love just like everybody's process is so different because we all get to the same ending. We all get to
write a book.
Yeah, we all get to finishing a book. So it's just cool that people do things so differently.
It really is. I'm excited. I feel like I've missed out. So when I was in Chicago and like the couple days leading up to it and then the couple days since, I have had no time to watch any AuthorTube stuff. So for like 2 weeks, I feel like I've been out on content. But I have that video of yours saved, and I'm so excited because I can't wait to hear just the way you talk about the different things you have to outline when you're talking about the emotional stuff, and then also like and I'm just like,
It's funny because I was realizing today when I was writing comments back that because I do like a fake outline in the video, and then I was like, oh, this story sounds kind of good, right? But then I was realizing it today that I was like, oh wait, it's the plot to Death Becomes Her. The movie.
I never saw that, but that's
I'm like the first plot point is she makes a deal with a demon, which in Death Becomes Her, you don't know what she is. She's some sort of entity, and then they're immortal. They don't really know that yet. They just think they're ageless. And then I put in the middle, she dies, and then I put in the next chapter, she comes back to life, and I was like, oh wait, this is totally Death Becomes Her. They end up fighting each other and then killing each other, thinking that they're killing each other, and then they're still alive. So now they're zombies essentially for the rest of eternity. So not my story, but it's like, I guess it came from somewhere. I'm all like, well, there you go.
That's so funny. Oh. That movie's hilarious.
It is so funny. I know, it's creepy, but really good.
Oh man, now I feel like I need to go find and watch that. I actually filmed a video today. It was just like a rambly, chatty video, kind of about what you and I talked about last time we did a live stream, but this kind of reminded me about how like something being original versus like putting your own spin on it, since I'm still over here wondering what I should do about Death Note. But anyways, so.
No, I think it's so different. I mean, that's what it seemed like, right?
I think it is. That's kind of what I talked about in the video that I just rambled around. But like, yeah. But that's just so funny to me. You're like, this is going to be really cool. I'm going to wait.
I know. And then, of course, it took me like a week later to realize I was like, oh, wait. So I'm like, I'm just making it up just to show the process, and then I'm all like, oh, I've seen this before.
I see. Elise asks, have you always done nano? No. I have participated for many years now. I'm sure I could do the math at some point. I say since like 7th or 8th grade. And no, I have not. I think I might give myself 50%.
That's good.
Yeah.
Since you've been doing it since the 7th grade. You know what's crazy though? I just realized I was talking to my friend Carrie, and I had totally blanked, but she participated. This is when she was in New York. She participated in the very first NaNoWriMo. And I remember the time because I was writing screenplays and she always wrote books. And so I was all like, what? You're doing what? And then I remember it was horrible because she's like, I just wrote like 50,000 words in my novel and it got lost. Like her computer like froze and she lost it. And it's like, I felt for her, but at the same time now experiencing a nano, if that would have, I mean, now I fully felt her pain. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah. So, but Stefan, the computer wizard that he was, he ended up retrieving it for her.
That's so nice. I was
like hard drive and stuff. Yeah. So, but it's funny that I was like, because I was talking to her and she's like, no, that was NaNoWriMo. And I'm like, it was. And she's all like, yeah, it was the first one. She actually knew, I guess, the creator guy or one of the guys that started it.
Yeah, Chris Beatty.
Okay, and she was like friends with him, and so he was putting it together. So it wasn't even like a.
It wasn't an official thing. It was just like with him and his friends.
Yeah, she was one of the friends.
Oh, that's crazy. That's so cool.
Isn't that crazy? I was all like, oh my God, I should have like connected that when you were writing 50,000 words in a month, but it was like in 90.
I was gonna say that's
no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about books back then, so.
That's so funny. That's crazy.
Yeah. Shows my age. Well, my friend's age, I mean,
Let's see. I see random question. Renee asks, when writing a series, how many books do you recommend before the reader is tired of that series? That's an interesting question. I mean, there's some series that have been going on forever that just want more books. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is like not, I mean, it's kind of related. Did you ever watch Glee?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Chris Colfer, who played Kurt, now writes books. He has that really
cool. Yeah, I read about that. Yeah.
Middle grade series or something. Mm-hmm. And he said, I think he was on like Jimmy Fallon or something. I was watching an interview, and he said that like the weird thing about Hollywood is that if you go back, and even if you're super successful in another area, like all of his books have been New York Times bestseller list, the fact that you're not on TV is like, poor you, like you don't know. Anyways, that part's interesting, but also like he has 15 books in his series. So I don't know. Yes. Yeah. I don't know that there's an answer to how many books I recommend before the reader's tired. I think, and I'll say that I've gotten tired of a series before because it feels like the characters show no growth. Mm-hmm. And eventually, if they're more episodic, I feel like books, you can't pull that. You can't do that as well as TV shows can.
Yeah. Well,
even then,
there's fantasy is full of that though. Like Brandon Sanderson already plans on, doing like in the Stormlight Archive that the Way of Kings one that I was reading. He's already has like 10 books planned or whatever. And each book, even though they're like 1,200 pages long, you get like that much story. Like it's like weird. It's like you feel like you're like he really knows how to. I guess he's not stretching it out because a bunch of stuff happens. But when you're talking about arc and plot, only a very small arc. So you need to read each, but you want to read each book.
Yeah.
And Jessica's saying Wheel of Time. It's like, and he finished up that series, so.
He did, I know, yeah, that's right.
But yeah, and like, Cassandra Clare, I know you're not a fan, but yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan, and I like that she does the spin-offs, that gives a little bit more interest,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that whole thing's really cool. It really is. I think if the writer's skilled enough, and they can make an interesting story, there's no reason that the reader should theoretically get tired of it, other than just like the reader moving on from a genre even. But
right.
So I saw someone else mention the Dresden Files too.
Yeah, especially when it's a mystery, like that's where I really think you can get away with it, because then it's like, you know, it's sort of like a procedural TV show where, you know, monster of the week, and you can kind of just have a long overall arc, but it's not that important. You really just, the characters are really experiencing the book as opposed to, you know, learning themselves kind of thing.
Yeah. That's why it's so interesting to see that, like,
yeah, you're right. That's it.
So that longer series. It's also interesting. Well, that's what I guess, Becca, since you've written multiple series, you've published multiple series at this point, they were always kind of a contained series though for you, right? Like that, was there ever an option to think maybe I can make this something that just keeps going? Or
originally I was thinking that would be the Atlas series, because I was thinking it could be like a procedural, because every 4 days she has to commit an act of atrocity, and then, you know, then the clock gets reset. Because originally when I had thought of the idea and written the idea, it was for a TV show. So I thought every episode, of course, when I was doing a TV show, it's going to be every 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, that's too quick. And my God, if someone had to do that every 24 hours, it'd just be horrible. So, but then it felt like it needed to be another trilogy. For some reason, my arcs peak as a trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's just kind of an interesting thing. I remember, and this is like, you may not have figured it out, and I'm blanking. Oh, the Hexsphere Chronicles?
Yeah.
Kind of wondering if that was going to be a...
It was when I originally came up with the idea, it was like a thing, but now that I had that dream that it's going to be a YA, I think it'll probably end up being a trilogy. Okay. I think the only thing that potentially of series of mine that could go on is Alexis Tappendorf, because she's always finding a new treasure.
And that might go back into what Jules is saying, that Kidlit can kind of get away with that a little bit easier. But again, there's the entire mystery genre, and me as a consumer of mystery, like I just, you know, you do grow attached to the main character and seeing it through their perspective is always.
Like, hello, look how long SVU has been on the air, and like any, you know, Law and Order show, because people like watching the same characters solve crimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I do see, I have not actually read Discworld.
Oh yeah, I haven't either.
I want to in the future. And then people saying Animorphs. This is one that I feel like a lot of people, this was like a critical moment for them. I talk about all the time. And then Goosebumps, of course, and Vegas. Yeah, okay. See, totally. Well, I got my snack. I didn't get a chance to eat it. Do y'all have Pirate's Booty?
I love Pirate Booty. Yeah, that's Trader Joe's. Yeah.
Well, we can get it, I think, like H-E-B and Costco here. But like, it was one of those, I was talking to Brooke again, and I had my Pirate's Booty, and she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Poor Oklahoma. They just get nothing."
Well, if they have Trader Joe's in Oklahoma, she could get them. I mean, I know that's the store that stocks it the most.
Really?
Or at least, you know, I think that's what they have to deal with. Or maybe they don't. Maybe that's just where I've always seen it and always assumed it was a Trader Joe's thing. But obviously not if you can get it elsewhere. But yeah, I love Pirate Booty.
So I have my snack. I have a little bit of my drink left. Becca, are you down for another sprint?
Yes.
All right. So we've done 11. We've done 15. We're going to go 19, or you want to go above the 20 mark? What are we feeling?
How are you feeling? Because ultimately, it is your decision.
No, what did you say last time? I'm taking it in. I'm seeing suggestions.
We could do 20. 2020.
I'm seeing.
That's the video store I used to work at. 2020 video.
Well, okay. That's just Let's see again, because I cannot figure out how to do banners other than to change them. I'm so sorry, you guys. We're gonna do that and timer.
Okay, I think I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break.
Yeah.
First.
All right. Then we will go ahead and we will start.
Okay.
Go. All right. I was trying to tell it to calm down. Like, I got it.
Calm down. So how'd you do?
Pretty good. I've switched now to going through the timeline. I have 3 whole plot points I've created. So some of that I'm adding in the plot points that I know need to happen, but I like kind of skipped over when I was first writing it in this bit. So that's kind of fun. I'm color coding them different things, but yeah, that's basically what I managed to do. I feel like I'm having to reread the story again since I didn't make the timeline first. And since I was going to change it anyway. So yeah, that's basically how'd you do?
Good. I'm getting through her outline. So I'm kind of doing like pieces of dialogue through the outline just to, just to sort of get me into this scene that I may want there. I don't know. I'm trying it. Sometimes I'll do that, and then just like that'll help me especially when it's like not plot driven. This is totally like love story.
Right. You feel the vibe of that's so, see, this is how I know we talked about this last time, but it really is how the zero draft and like your outlining method are really so similar.
Yeah. I know. I actually said in my video, I was like, it's like with the zero draft. And then I had to put like a disclaimer because I was realizing I was saying it like I was speaking for you, and I was like, I do not speak for Kate. Like, this is just how I translated it.
I'm sure it's perfect. I can't wait to watch it.
I know, but it's like, I suddenly, as I was editing it, I'm all like, you're kind of stating this like it's a fact. Like, this is what a zero draft is. And I'm all like, this is just what I take, like what I feel like from what you've said, how I've translated what I see as a zero draft. Like, okay, we've talked about it in detail. So, it's like, I think I know, but like, again, I'm like, I do not speak for Kate.
I'm so excited. Oh, man, that's awesome. No, I saw someone got like 1,200 words.
Oh yeah, everyone did.
Yeah. 178. I also, when I'm hungry, not as productive.
Ooh, Natalia is so close to finishing the read-through of Pistol Day.
Yes! Yay!
I really want to read the second one. I got to read the first one. I mean, I really want to reread the first one because she said she's made some changes too. So, because I got to read the beta, and it was so good. So
that's like, I was gonna say, Natalia, if you're still here, I'm throwing it out there that if you need another round, I'm here. I would love to read it.
Oh my god, it's really good.
That's what I heard from multiple people who have read it. That's what to do. Yeah, someone asked if the lights flickered. They have several times. I'm slightly concerned.
That's my fault, remember?
And now it's connected to Becca again, so I have questions.
I'm telling you, that is weird, right?
No, that's like, for those of you guys who have seen the video I did with Robert, my brother, the first time when we were reviewing AuthorTuber books, and he had to guess what the book was based off of the cover and the title, all this stuff. When we were talking about Becca's book, the lights started flickering, and we were like, she's here, and now she's actually here. For sure, the lights are flickering.
It's funny because that video is the reason why I changed my covers. I was all like, no one can tell what this is about. I'm all like, all right.
I liked your original covers. I really love your new covers. And in fact, I haven't told you this before, but I'm waiting on my Amazon shipment for tomorrow. I got all 3.
Oh,
I have them over here. I'm so excited, but then I get to display them and actually read the second and third book. I know. So anyways, I think that's so funny though. I'm gonna have to tell Robert that.
Yes. It's so weird.
You should.
It's so random.
Oh my
I feel like we need to do a reading or something.
I know. I kind of do feel that way. You're like, how is she infiltrating? I have questions. Oh man. Let's see. Look at that. Jackie got 429, 436. Oh my gosh, you guys.
That's awesome.
It is.
I know, it's a lot of people in the 400s, man. Ah.
Yeah.
Well, it was such an honor. I was just like, because I know a lot of people, you know, write in and you know, fill out. She has like a whole form, you know, and stuff. So I was just like, please pick me. I love Westerns. Please pick me. And she was so sweet. She was all like, yes, you're gonna look. I'm so excited.
Also, Jessica, stop.
Tristan. Oh my God, that was so funny.
For the same video. Oh my God, from both videos. I think at this point, because Robert and I'll get a chance to hang out over Thanksgiving or Christmas, so I'm gonna have to make him do it again, and I'm gonna purposely pick Tristan. Like there needs to be another Tristan, so I'm gonna see if I can find.
I was thinking about that name too, though, and I think there was this TV show that I really liked. It got canceled, of course, but it was about witches, like Witches of East End or something.
Oh my God, my friend was obsessed with that. Yeah,
it was really good, but I'm pretty sure the main guy's name was Tristan. And when you said that, I was all like, I think that's how I know that name. So I mean, it's sort of a romance, so it makes sense. But
yeah, I think that is, but it's just, isn't that interesting how certain names feel like they have certain connotations, even though
I know. It does feel like very much a romance novel, for sure.
For any Tristans out there watching now.
I want to rewatch that. That was good. It sucks that they canceled it on a cliffhanger. Was it? Oh, that's what it was. I thought it was Witches of East End, though. It was Eastwick. I thought Witches of Eastwick was a movie. No?
I feel like my friend did the East End one also. What am I thinking of? Because that's what and now I'm over here like Googling it.
Was it Eastwick? Because I thought
Witches of East End.
East End, yeah, because Witches of Eastwick is that movie with Jack Nicholson, right?
Oh my gosh.
Of Eastwick? Right? Am I going crazy?
No, no. East End is the show.
Okay, but East End is the show, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
well, there's both. There's the movie, yeah, but I thought you were talking about the TV show, because I think the TV show is East End, and the movie is Eastwick.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they're both TV shows. I see what you're saying.
Okay, my friend was obsessed with East End.
Okay, whichever one had. Okay, let me see. I'll have to look at the cast to know which one I watched.
I swear it's not one of my streams if I don't go off on a tangent trying to know something. I'm like,
I'm crazy. I'm just.
God, Tristan. That's just, it all makes sense. Poor Rain. I feel like we've almost all of us have been ghosted before. Well,
okay, I'm not seeing a Witches of Eastwick TV show. I'm only seeing the movie here on IMDb. But East End is a TV show. Is that the one I watched? That's the one I watched. That's the TV show I liked. Yeah, so Witches of East End is the TV show I freaking loved. And it got canceled. So that's, yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
Witches of Eastwick, the movie.
Jack Nicholson.
It's okay. I mean, yeah. It's like Cher, I think, and like Michelle Pfeiffer. It is.
Here's the thing also, just with all the titles are so hard sometimes too. I don't know why this is reminding me of that, but like, because you can have multiple books titled the same thing or movies. Like I can't remember what the rule is, but all these vaguely similar titles, I'm just like.
I know. And it really doesn't help that they're both witches of.
Yeah.
Oh, she put in IMDb. Okay, let me see. Let's see what it did. Let me see. Oh, it was just Eastwick. Okay. So it wasn't called Witches of Eastwick. It was just called Eastwick. But it was based on, is that what you're saying? It was based on Witches of Eastwick? Like, was there like something before that? Because Witches of East End is the show that I watched. I never watched Eastwick. Oh my goodness. So yeah, you had the wrong name, Jessica. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to add up. We did a 20-minute sprint, an 11-minute sprint, and what was the other one? We did 15. That was basically 16 minutes. Okay, we are due for a 13-minute sprint, and that'll get us at my usual goal of writing for an hour and chatting for an hour.
I know, right? Okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
You're good with it? Okay.
I might even finish kind of the almost outline for this arrow.
That would be nice. That's what, if we need to up it and have a last minute sprint at the end so you can finish it, we'll kind of play that by ear.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, it might not come to me because I think this might be one of those things where I have to process for a while.
Yeah, I feel like the emotional parts of that do need more percolation sometimes than others.
Yeah, especially when it's the love story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen. I set it for 13:31, you guys. So it is the final is going to be debatable. We'll see how we're feeling. Where Becca's at. All right. And are you ready to start?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Start. All right. Okay, Becca, where do you stop at?
Well, it was more about I didn't get to finish, but I'm getting there. I realized that I'm piecing together the way that the ending's going to build between the three characters. So I kind of had to go back to another character because I'm like, okay, well, this part of the spell is going to happen in this chapter, then this, because I was doing it in the wrong order, and I'm just.
Yep. So it's just shuffling and figuring things out. Yeah.
But I'm close. I'm getting there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. So much of it is just, it's not quite trial and error, but it's like, you start on one path, you think it's going to work, and then it's like, wait a second, hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing a similar thing. So I now have 13 plot points on my timeline.
Oh, wow.
3 of those I have not written at all. And then within some of those plot points that still need to happen, I actually need to, because I'm going to be completely rewriting it.
Okay.
The relationship between some of the characters is going to evolve differently than what I currently have. So even though the plot points need to stay the same, your emotional beats or whatever, they're going to change a little bit.
Different. So, yeah. See, you're mapping out both.
It's very similar now. Yes.
Because it is interesting that plot doesn't always match up with what you have in mind for the character arcs.
Yeah, especially because I know, at least for your third character, potentially, like mine is also, at least for this first part of the story, is on a journey to get from where she lives to the capital. Okay. And so no matter what, the first bit of story has to have her getting from here to here. That has to stay the same. And like, I know the actions along the way, like there's going to be a murder, Project Death. There's going to be like whatever else. That has to stay there. But this particular relationship that I'm trying to set up for the ending I know I want now, need to be something different.
Right. That's good though.
Yeah, it's fun. I feel like this is the kind of like fun story experimentation that isn't the writing, but it's still really exciting. Because you've said that you love the tinkering and the like coming up with stuff more than the actual first drafting sometimes, right?
I love planning. I'm such a planner though, because it's just like, that's the fun part, like the world building and then the outline and then the, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Oh, what is this? I'm not sure what tag to use, Rebecca, but I wanted to know that I'm going to try. Oh, yay. Well, I hope it helps, because I know, like, that's what I was saying, is I know everybody's process is so different. So that's why I was kind of reluctant to do an outlining video, because it's like, you don't want to mess with people. But I was like, you know what? I'll just show what I do. And if they can pick anything from it, then great,
I still say that one of the first things I think you told me about was this Aeon timeline. And it took several months for me to like think about how much I might need a timeline something to actually record. But it's like, I never would have come up with that had you not mentioned that way back when. Like, so sometimes even though our processes are similar but not the same, like I still have taken stuff from yours. And I think that's helpful. It's fun to do.
Well, yeah, you never know what tidbit might
spark something. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, it's my method is pretty like, it's just like pretty straightforward. And well, you'll probably like the highlighting part, I'll say. Okay, I know how much you love to highlight.
I like to color code.
Color coding. I love the color coding too, so I'm a sucker for it.
Oh man. Well, it looks like everyone did really good. I'm going to scroll backwards, but 832, 1601.
Oh, yeah.
I know some of this is like for the overall stream versus like the actual sprint, but look at that. Look at that.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Like, that's incredible. So anyways, oh my gosh, well, we're right at the 2-hour mark, and we managed to get a whole hour of sprinting in, so we did really good.
I know, we did actually. I got a lot done. I'm glad I worked on the outline too, because like a part of me was like, well, maybe you should just work on these chapters, but I can do that during the day. Like I need to like separate.
That is the hard part with writing multiple or working on multiple things, is that you have to like compartmentalize so much of it and be like, no, this is going to be for this and this is going to be for this.
And I feel like with a specifically with lives, it's like the energy is so like, I don't know, I just like feel it for like Nano, and everybody's getting so excited and I'm getting so excited, and like, so it's like I want to work on what I'm going to be working on for Nano, you know?
Yeah, this is a Nano Preptober stream, so you got to do Nano Preptober. But yay! Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, Becca, for being here. And then I mentioned it in some of the comments, but I am going to be I'm going to be co-hosting on Emily Bourne's channel tomorrow. I think it's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't quote me on that. Check out my Instagram stories. I will put it there. Or search Emily Bourne. She's also great. Her videos are wonderful. Yes. So thank you, Becca. Thank you guys for coming. And we will see you guys soon. I mean, next month we'll do some Nano. We'll do a lot of stuff. We'll figure something out.
Will be a lot of Nano.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.